there, I'm Angela. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the things I'm working on in my garden this week. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Little background in case you're new here. Thanks so much for stopping in. I'm in zone 6A and we have reached our last frost date. It was April 24th or 25th, and I am getting things planted out, and I'll show you what I'm working on this week. It's Wednesday, May 10th, and I'm out here getting some seeds in the ground, direct sowing finally. I'll show you what I'm planting today. I'm doing a couple of herbs. One is this green sleeves dill. I've grown this for a few years in a row now. It does pretty well from high mowing. And the other thing is sage. And these are seeds that were saved from a plant I originally bought from a coworker whose family has a big farm nearby. And I went to plant the oregano and found I'm out of seeds, so I'll probably have to order some more seeds. Oh darn. And I do tend to, by and large, plant my herbs in these black pots here that are varying sizes, anywhere from ½ gallon to maybe 2 gallons, something like that. Just to kind of, herbs can get a little unruly, especially like sage will take over. And that's a perennial here, so I put the seeds in that bucket there. So that will, it'll live in there until it finally dies out, however many years from now. I previously had sage growing in one of my wooden raised beds, and it totally was a bully. It like took over. So now I just tend to plant things like that in pots just to kind of keep them in check a little bit. And one other thing that I'm going to try to get in today, I should be able to, are a couple of different squash types. I'm just trying to figure out where is the best place for them to go. So I'm going to get those in, and maybe a couple of cosmos. I'm thinking I'm going to do a couple of squash types here in this first long bed. This is 3 by 12. And if you can see, the back end there is in shadow. That's the reason that I'm going to eventually later this year get these turned perpendicular to what they are now. I've already started kind of getting the soil out of that one there, so I probably won't plant anything in that one this year and just work on over the summer getting the soil out, just moving it to a different spot. Now as it gets later in the afternoon, it will get a little bit sunnier back there, but it just doesn't stay sunny enough hours to really grow very many things. And even though I've tried growing like more shade tolerant plants, like some of the leafy greens, they never really thrive at that end of these two long beds. I don't know if it's because the soil just never, it always stays like moist and cakey, like it never dries out at all. Not that you want the soil to dry out completely, but it seems like it just stays saturated, so that might be part of it too. So I got 3 different types of squash in. The first one is Golden Delight. That's from Haas Tools. The next one is EP Straight Neck from Botanical Interest. And then Honey Nut, which is a winter squash from Annie's. So just those 3 for now. We'll see how it goes. And I might do beans along the back side of this bed here. And I'm kind of having to come to terms with the fact that I might have to not grow as many varieties of things this year, just because I'm losing that bed there growing space, and also because I've dedicated 1 whole bed to onions plus 7 of my big grow bags to onions and a few leeks, just because I eat a lot of onions. I cook with a lot of onions, so might as well grow the things that we use the most. And then this whole bed is radishes and beets. So once those come to harvest, then I can maybe, it'll still be early enough, I can replant that bed there with something. And then another thing that's kind of taken up a lot of space are all the potatoes. I have dedicated a lot of space to potatoes this year. All of these grow bags here, and then 4 of the big bags there. So I might have to be a little picky choosy about the rest of the things that I can grow, or get more grow bags. But my goal is to eventually have these wooden beds throughout. So I don't want to keep buying more grow bags, and then once my beds are built, what do I do with them? I'm sure I can find some friends or something that would take them, but in the meantime, I'm kind of like narrowing it down to what I can fit in my garden this year. So that might be it for today. I'm gonna try to get a couple of perennials in the ground that are more of landscaping, like native plants, not vegetables. So I'm gonna work on that and we'll see how that goes. I'll check back in later in the week. Hey there, it's Friday, May 12th, and I am gonna show you what we've worked on here in the garden in the past couple of days. So kind of keeping with my plans to get more native plants established here, I planted, this one's called a glade mallow. Look at those leaves, I love that. And I think that this will get like up to 3 feet tall or something like that. And I'll definitely, you know, divide it as it gets bigger or get more of them to kind of fill in this spot here. And then the other thing that I planted was a hairy wood mint. So that's kind of a funny name. If it's like any other mint I've ever known, it will spread like crazy, but I don't think it'll be invasive because it is a native plant. And in the garden itself, we're making more progress on our fence. Show you what we've done. This is kind of slow going, but it's fine. It'll get there. We got 2 more posts set into the ground, and this is going to be where a gate will be eventually. So if you look straight down, what I want is a gate here with these 2 posts, and then enough aisleway that a cart can be pulled through, and then another gate at the end down there that we came through. And so there'll be just like a straight line of fencing all across the back here, and then behind me are just a bunch of woods. So that will be so helpful in keeping all the deer out. And then later we'll get fencing in along the front. We kind of started with the back just because we've never done this before, and we wanted to practice. These are our practice ones, you know, in case they don't look so great. They'll be in the back of the garden. And look at the potatoes. They're going like gangbusters. They're doing so good. The garlic's looking good, although I still have a couple of 3 months before that'll be ready. And the beets and radishes are slowly taking off, although I think that bed's got a lot of weeds sprouting up that I'll have to take care of. I'm hoping that we get some more rain this weekend, which we're supposed to. And then the tomatoes they're still here. They haven't, you know, done greatly, but I'm hoping that they will now that they've been transplanted. I feel like they got off to kind of a bad start, and I started wondering if maybe my soil was contaminated, which you hear a lot about in the past year or so. But I just got them in here with some good slow release fertilizer, and we will see how they do. And I still do have at least 10 more tomato seedlings to get into the ground soon. And none of my peppers have gone out yet because we're still expecting some cool nights, like in the 50s, lower 50s. So they will stay in their little cell packs until our nights are consistently warm enough to get them out here. And for now, they are spending their daytimes outside. And then if we're expecting like a mid to low 50s in the evening, I bring them back into the house. So it's kind of, we're having cooler temperatures kind of later into the season than we normally do, which is not a bad thing. It does make for nice, enjoyable weather, at least, even if it means delaying getting things out. This might be all that I have to share with you guys for this week. I'm headed out of town this weekend to see my mom, and we might get a couple of fence posts set in before I leave, but otherwise probably no more planting. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you found this interesting. How's your garden doing? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And otherwise, I will talk to you next week. Bye.